So it's like all of the stuff that you see throughout this little epilogue sequence, all the NPCs, I'm not going to talk to any of them, just because it's basically all just cute nonsense and fluff that's not terribly important, with one exception that's like way out of the way, that I honestly think that most reasonable players wouldn't bother to go and do, but we're going to go backtrack way back to the very beginning of the game, to where we first met Flowey. Or I guess even before that, no, to where we first fell down at the very start of the game. And, because there's a very important conversation that takes place there, actually, that reveals some sort of crucial clarification, some important sort of plot details that I think are kind of essential to a sort of a fuller understanding of what was really going on in the backstory, as far as you know, the death of the first fallen human and Asriel absorbing his soul and going through the barrier and all that. Because yeah, that's all kind of, it hasn't been really very clearly stated, like exactly like why they did that and what the plan was, and why did he go across the barrier, what was the plan there, and why did he just go across and like do nothing and let the humans just kill him? What was the point of all that? That's kind of the one defining event that sort of kicked off really the entire, yeah, kind of the whole plot of the game, really, or not, if not the plot of the game, kind of the backstory of the villain, I'll say, kind of set up everything with Asriel and Flowey. That kind of, yeah, basically is kind of the whole point of the game, really, in terms of the plot and everything. And yeah, you don't really get that full picture of that crucial event unless you, in the epilogue, go all the way back to the beginning of the game. So we're going to do that. And I guess before that, I guess I could probably take some time to sum things up on my thoughts on the game. I guess I've done that already. It's probably a bad idea of me to do that, that little wrap-up video that I did. I wish there were a shortcut back to the start of the game here, but unfortunately we're going to have to walk all the way back through all of this. And yeah, you do get some cute little details, and actually some plot details as well. In particular, if you go back and talk, not really plot details, just kind of fleshing out the character backstories and all that. Specifically, if you go to talk to that the turtle shopkeeper in Waterfall, he has some interesting stuff to say about kind of the history of the underground and Asgore in particular, if I remember correctly. And again, this is all stuff you can just kind of look up on YouTube if you're really interested in seeing it. I am not going to spend like an hour going back. And actually, does it say anything? Okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's honestly, I think I'm wasting, like, it's kind of a waste of time as it is having to backtrack through all this. If this is kind of a good representation, though, I think, of the biggest weakness of the game, in that just like a lot of the game is just like walking through these environments, which are not, I mean, the graphic style of the game is alright, like, it doesn't look terrible, and like I said, I think the character designs are really appealing and everything, and the monster designs and everything, but it's just, you know, it's an old school RPG. They were never really the most graphically impressive games out there. And in fact, yeah, I'd say that, yes, like even lower fidelity graphics in this game than, like, say, Earthbound way back in the day. So it's really kind of, it's not even really old school. It's just kind of, I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess I should clarify this. Yeah, the amalgams are all back and integrated into society. Since, as we know, they aren't actually, like, violent or anything. As long as you aren't, apparently, if you aren't carrying chisps on you, they just won't attack you at all. Or so Alphys says, even though that's actually a lie. But yeah, that's kind of funny in the end that they even turned the creepy shit in the lab with the amalgams and everything into sort of a cute little bit at the end. So yeah, we're just gonna keep walking, as we always do. I guess I'll just take this opportunity to finish my drink. Honestly, the music at this little epilogue sequence is a bit gets a bit grating after a while. I think it loops a bit too quickly, and it plays in every freaking area. This is like all you hear. And if you go through and talk to all the NPCs and see, like, explore every nook and cranny of the game, see what everyone says, you're gonna be listening to this thing for like a good hour and a half. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, I think the game would actually benefit tremendously from just a more robust sort of fast travel system where you could just teleport back to wherever you want. Just like have a lot of checkpoints that you can teleport back to. Because really, there's never any, like, strict gameplay reason to backtrack other than some of the stuff you need to do for the pacifist ending. In fact, my first time through the game, actually... my first time through the game, actually, I didn't backtrack at all. In fact, I never... Like, after I went through Snowdin, I never went back there. After I went through Hotland, never went back. It was just a straight shot to the end for me. Which actually seems to be, like, a lot of the way a lot of people play the game. There's actually no reason to backtrack at all, ever. So in that sense, I guess the lack of fast travel is kind of forgivable, apart from this epilogue sequence. I guess I could... Oh, actually, do these frogs have anything? We should try... Actually, apparently that's the thing you can do, is if you talk to that guy... It's a thing that I've heard. If you you talk to one of the frogs... Is that true? Is there a real fourth frog? I think that's a lie. I think that's a red herring. Nope, I won't. Oh, does he say something different? If I don't? Yay, I'm mature now. Fairly mature means, yeah, watching text crawl very, very slowly to the point where you're waiting for it. Or, you know what, I don't think I've ever talked to this boulder. Oh, I think that's the same thing he says. Normally, that's disappointing. He doesn't have new dialogue for the epilogue. Oh well. God, and then I'm gonna have to walk all the way back after I'm done this. Yeah. Oh well, the payout is worth it. You really do need to see this, I think, to get the full story. Almost there. Through the room of, what was it? Unnecessary tension. So, some of the track names on the OST are pretty amusing as well. I particularly like, yeah, Unnecessary Tension, Bird That Carries You Across a Disproportionately Small Gap, and the song that might play when you fight Sans. As far as the actual OST, I guess I could rank my favorite tracks on the soundtrack right now. I'd say my favorite song in a standard playthrough is the Mettaton boss fight. What was it? Death by Glamour. It's probably my favorite that you'll hear in like a normal playthrough. And then Pacifist Run has got to be the final boss fight. Probably the first form, I'd say, of the final boss. And then, although my favorite track overall out of the entire game is actually the Genocide final boss, Megalovania, that they play for the fight with Sans. And yeah, I'd say those are probably my top three. Number 1, Megalovania. Number 2, Death by... Or no, number 2, whatever it's called, where you fight the real final boss. And actually, speaking of which, yeah, here we've got Frisk? What? No, Azrael. And you can chat him up. And I was afraid if I didn't, you know, play nice with him in the ending there, he might not show up here. Because I've heard tales of people saying that they like went here in the end and Azrael didn't show up. So I'm afraid that there might be something you can do that'll prevent him from appearing. But yeah, this conversation here is somewhat important. You think they'd want to know, though, like, why... like, what happened to him. Oh, this is interesting. I alluded to this earlier, sort of what exactly is, I guess, Frisk's motivation for coming into the underground. Reason being, yeah, there's the legend that says you disappear when you get up there. So, like, what exactly is our character's problem? And I I like that they leave it ambiguous. You can sort of... again, it's kind of a self-insertion thing, similar to sort of the androgyny of the character design of Frisk. Whereas you can sort of insert yourself and kind of think for yourself, what reason... Why would they come down here? What's their motivation? And honestly, I don't know, I feel like... I feel like a lot of the crowd that tends to, like, absolutely go apeshit for this game and absolutely love it tend to be kind of... I don't know how to put it. I'd say that the touchy-feely Tumblr crowd probably has enough mental issues going on here that they can sort of put themselves in the place of a person who would go climb up Mount Everett and disappear forever. I used to be in that kind of mindset a long time ago myself, but it's been a long time. Actually, I can actually imagine how this game would resonate a lot stronger, I think, with people who sort of suffer from depression in general. I think there's just like a lot of it sort of deals with those issues, what with the character of Alphys and the motivations of the protagonist and the first human and Azrael and all that. It's just it's kind of a major topic in the game in the end, it turns out. So I can see how this sort of thing would resonate with a lot of people who have those kinds of problems. Might explain sort of the mass appeal that the game has among certain communities on the internet, I think. Only you know the answer. That's a good way of summarizing that. And here we find out a little bit more about I'm not going to call him Jasu at this point. I will not let them defame my character like this. But yeah, the first human, if I get to find out a little bit more about him at this point. It was, yeah, not a happy reason. In fact, yeah, let's just go full bore with it. Jasu hates humanity, in fact. Don't know the reason, but yeah, Jasu, kind of an asshole. The complete opposite of Frisk, as it turns out, yeah. That's kind of baffling when you think about it. I guess, you know, they look exactly the same, but... Yep, Jasu wasn't really the greatest person. That's kind of an understatement if you sort of think harder about the kind of stuff that Jasu actually did. Like, right now we know that he basically poisoned, I guess, Asgore while trying to make pie for him. Possibly accidentally, we don't know, but regardless, he seemed able to laugh it off in the end. Then probably committed suicide with the intention of Azrael absorbing his soul and crossing the barrier. Why exactly did he want to do that? And yeah, again, we get kind of into the loneliness of... Yeah, sort of Azrael's character is sort of loneliness and desperation and wanting for friends and whatnot. And this is the important bit. So what actually happened after he absorbed Jasu's soul and crossed the barrier? Well, apparently, yeah, this happened. So yeah, basically, Jasu was the one who was in control and decided to cross the barrier, and they wanted to to use their full power and presumably kill a bunch of people to gather some souls to destroy the barrier, which would probably reignite the war between humans and monsters at that point. Like, I don't think the humans would be happy about some monster crossing, like, just busting through the barrier and murdering people to break it, so... Yeah, you can kind of think that that's probably what Jasu was all about. Kill himself to bust through the barrier and start reignite a big old war between humans and monsters, just because he's a prick who hates humanity. Or maybe just because he was a prick who hates humanity, he wanted to use the full power, just like not even give a shit about the monsters, just full out genocide against humanity. There's no telling what kind of depths of depravity that freaking Jasu must have been up to. But yeah, Azrael was able to take control and get him out of it, ended up dying in the process. So yeah, it turns out he's actually a good guy. After all, it's just apparently his soul was damaged or something, or he lost his ability to feel love or whatever as a result of Alphys's experiments. Or, this is interesting too, and he says and he sort of changes his story here. He says that all of that is the reason why he adopted this horrible worldview, so it kind of makes you think, that it wasn't the fact that he like had no soul or anything, or it's maybe he just ended up like incredibly disillusioned as a result of sort of his experiences there. There's sort of that question then, which is the true story. Was he just sort of like lacking a soul, or brain damaged, or soul damaged, or whatever as a result of Alphys's experiments, and that's why he became a freaking psychopath as a flower, or was it actually due to sort of what happened to him after crossing the barrier and all that, and his experiences with Jasu, who was apparently a jackass. Yep, and yeah, he says it right here. There would have been another war. Which again kind of calls into question. It's because Toriel was the one who said, like, if you really want to cross the barrier, that's the way to do it. Cross the barrier and gather 6 human souls. Kind of makes you wonder if there's like, if the Flowey side of him is maybe a bit of the Toriel side. I don't know. I like that interpretation of Toriel's character, even though it's probably not right. Just that interpretation where she might have a bit of ruling, ruling the leaf pile with an iron fist in her personality and whatnot. And yeah, I'm glad that we listened to you too, as well. Now, I wonder if that's supposed to be like some general social commentary or something, or just... So yeah, like, what is the message then? Is it don't kill and don't be killed, or is it there are a lot of Floweys out there? Be wary around the bastards. It's again kind of mixed messages there. I don't know. I can forgive him though for it. Asriel is a fucked up kid. And that's it. Now we walk back to the end and yeah, go through the door and see the actual for real like roll credits and everything. And so yeah, we got a lot of shit there in the end. And again, the hidden depths of the plot. It's like, not only do you need like the true pacifist ending, but I really think you need to get that conversation with Asriel there in order to get sort of even further. Like, that's a big sort of bombshell of information there about what was really going on with the, him crossing the barrier with Jasu. That's like important information that adds a lot of, honestly, a lot of depth to the story, frankly. It's like, it's essential information. You can't really be without it, I don't think. Like, to get to fully experience the story, I think you really need to see that. And it just seems so weird that it's like so far out of the way. I don't know. And again, I'm sure it's deliberate, but I don't know. It just seems weird. And again, it's not like it's difficult to experience all this if you want to. I mean, yeah, it's up there on YouTube. There's an Undertale wiki where you can just read about all the extra shit that's in the game that you might not necessarily catch in a single playthrough or even on 2 or 3 playthroughs. But and I don't know, I felt the same way about games like Nier and Drakengard as well. It's like, okay, it's neat that there's all this extra sort of hidden depth to the game's plot that comes out when you play the game a dozen times, but I don't want to play the game a freaking dozen times to get all that. I just want to just give me the info dump. I just want to give me the information and I'll process it from there. I don't want to play your game again just to see all that. And again, that's kind of the same impression I get from Undertale. That's like not... That was my reaction after a single playthrough, and of course, now that I've seen all the, the spectacular true ending and all that, I have a better impression of the game, just because, again, that final impression is a lot stronger and a lot more positive when you get this true ending. But yeah, with the neutral ending, and there's so much kind of stuff going on in the game itself. And again, we're heading back into the recap, sort of my overall thoughts video that I did, where it's all the criticisms I had of the game. It's just being kind of a bog standard JRPG, and none of your decisions really matter in the end, and you have to play through this stupid thing twice to get the full story. But even apart from all that, it's a good game. I like it. not as much as a lot of people. I wouldn't put this on any like best of lists of video games, or you know, or I think I kind of that's not entirely true. I stand by I think what I said in my my recap video where I said that I would probably put this in a list of top 10 JRPGs of all time, probably hovering somewhere around the middle to the bottom of the list. But even then, like, yeah, I don't like this as much as I don't like it as much as generally games with a lot more depth to like the gameplay and the combat systems. Like, I'd say, yeah, Grandia would be my number 1 on that list. Suikoden 2 would also probably be number 2 on that list. Yeah, Suikoden, or 2, and well, I'm trying to I'm racking my brain now for JRPGs that I like better than Undertale. Probably Final Fantasy 5 and 6, I'd say. Or actually, no, or I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Final Fantasy 6. I've actually tried to play it a couple times, and it didn't really do much for me. I have a ton of nostalgia for the game, but I just can't stand to play through it anymore these days. I wonder if it would even make my list now that I think of it. Okay, so yeah, FF6 is off. FF5 I would rank higher than this. What other Final Fantasy games do I like? Final Fantasy X-2 is actually my favorite Final Fantasy game, apart from FF5. Do I like this better than Final Fantasy X-2? I'd rank this probably on par with Final Fantasy X-2 on my favorite JRPGs of all time. So yeah, this would probably be... I'm probably forgetting something. But yeah, this would probably be number 5 or 6 on my list. Or actually, I don't know, I guess Lufia would be... you know what, I think I like Lufia better than this as well. Yeah, I'd probably put this like number 5 or 6 on my top 10 list of favorite JRPGs. Or I guess Star Ocean as well, though. Yeah, Star Ocean Second Story would rank up there as well. Again, I'm kind of, and I guess what you might gather from kind of the games I'm listing, I'm kind of more of like a gameplay is king type guy. Like and again, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I like about those other RPGs that I've listed is like the combat systems and the character sort of leveling up, and, you know, character building systems and all that kind of stuff. Character development in terms of developing your character's abilities and leveling up and all that kind of stuff, which this game doesn't really have. Like I said, the battle system is pretty shallow. The puzzles and dungeons are pretty basic and shallow as well. This game really coasts, I think, on the strength of just its charm and its characters and kind of the revealed depths of the plot that come through on your Pacifist playthrough. But nevertheless, I do, unlike some people, I do appreciate those aspects. Even though I'm kind of stronger on kind of the gameplay side of things, I do appreciate these kinds of aspects of games enough that I can, if they're good enough. I haven't even met you. Whatever. I was curious to see what that guy would say if you've never talked to him, but apparently it doesn't make any difference. But what was I going on about? Yeah. Even though like I'd strongly prefer games with like very sort of complex and involved sort of combat and character building systems, even if it, for me at least, a game that doesn't have those kinds of things can still get by on just, you know, sort of charm and plot alone, basically get by on the plot and characters alone if those aspects are good enough. I'm trying to think now if there's another game I can think of that sort of rivals Undertale in that regard. I'd say probably Grandia. I'd say I like the plot and character. I think Grandia has a much stronger story and much better and more interesting characters than Undertale. Or not much better, maybe slightly better. But that game also had fantastic gameplay as well. Yeah, fantastic combat system and everything. So yeah, so where does I put Undertale in the echelon? yeah, this will probably be to the middle lower end of my list of like favorite JRPGs of all time. Probably around probably somewhere between 6 and 8, I'd say. And yeah, if it wasn't clear from that, actually, this JRPGs aren't really a genre that I'm like really big into anymore. Like I say, like yeah, in fact, if I were to make my big, I mentioned this in my sort of Undertale recap video, that I'm not really big into the JRPGs anymore. If I were to do like a top 10 list of my favorite JRPGs, I would end up criticizing the hell out of a lot of games on that list, including Undertale, frankly, because I've gone on about this kind of the flaws I think the game has, but the ending is not one of them. This game has one of the strongest finishes, I think, in RPG history, and we're gonna, yeah, cap it off here with that. Yeah, thanks for watching, I guess, if you have been watching, which clearly you have been, if you just heard me speak that sentence. Oh, that's right, we aren't on the credits yet. We still got another decision to make. I forgot about that. Now, I don't know, I like to do some self-insertion for decisions like this, and personally, I think in this kind of situation, I feel that I have sort of my Frisk's unique sort of position here, or the sort of unique situation that he's in, sort of makes me think that, yeah, if I were in that, if I were in this position, I would totally accept the ambassadorship. It's, you know, with this, Frisk is in kind of a unique position to do some good here, and it's kind of questionable whether anyone else would really be up to the task. So it's, I feel that Frisk's kind of Frisk's journey and unique experiences kind of he could do a lot of good, I think, in this role. So personally, if it were me, I think I'd accept. And he goes off in the other direction. See, the way he says it there, it's like someone's got to do something, and then he goes off in the other direction, which makes you think that he's passing the buck onto Undyne. But then again, with Sans' maybe he's just taking a shortcut to go meet up with Papyrus there. I guess Undyne apparently doesn't know that. Anyways. Ice cold. And now we're back with Goat Mom, as we were in the beginning. Now she says that, but again, we know that Frisk may not have had happy reasons for coming in here. May not have had, yeah, you know, may not have had like the happiest life up here on the surface before climbing Mount whatever to disappear forever. So that kind of makes you think that he might not have anyone to go back to, and that maybe Goat Mom is sort of having a life with Toriel would be kind of the best thing for him. On the other hand, like I said, I like to do kind of the whole self-insertion thing, and personally, it kind of makes you wonder what kind of age Frisk is, too. Like, considering all the shit he's been through, he's practically an adult now with all the life experience he's had from this. But anyways, it's, I don't know, I'm more one for the life of adventure, I think. So I think we've got places to go, people to see. Apparently races to unite. We got the ambassador thing going on. Although I guess the other thing, we are in a kind of a unique situation as well, being ambassador with Asgore, working with Asgore and the humans, and then also living with Toriel. We might be in a situation there to, you know, kind of push those two back together, maybe kind of working with both of them. So again, kind of in a unique position to do some good there. Although again, me personally, I wouldn't want to get involved in that mess. She can go back to him if she wants, or she can. Apparently, she doesn't. She very much doesn't want to, though. So I'd leave her to her, whatever she wants to do. And yeah, this is it. Undertale. Roll credits. Not really, or I guess the cast first, rather than... And I don't know what makes the names yellow here. I thought that it was like any monster that you've mercied would get a yellow name here, but then again, I remember on my previous playthrough, some of the monsters that I did mercy, like, didn't get yellow names. Or I guess Napstablook isn't yellow here, actually, so maybe it is based on whether you mercied them or not, but... Yeah, the credits here are pretty... They draw this out quite a bit between, like, these little scenes, and the names come up really slowly, and they cut that with the cast of characters as well, just because this game is largely the work of, like, just one person, with, like, a little bit of, I think, supporting art, and from a couple other people, and that's, like, basically it. So... And I think that's a lot of, what makes this game so impressive, to me at least, when you think about all the work that must have gone into this. And actually, as I understand it, Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale, is actually, like, primarily, as I understand it, a musician by trade, I believe. So it kind of makes sense that actually the audio design in this game is so strong. To the point where it's, yeah, probably one of the best things in the game. Oh, I forgot about that freaking octopus. What was it? Onion-san. It's so weird and pointless. Why did that thing even exist? I don't know. It's back, regardless. Oh, she loves it. She's gone mad with power. Oh yeah, apparently Temmie is the name of, like, an artist who helped with the game, or something, I guess. Represented in-game by that weird, disturbing-looking sweater cat person thing? I don't know. And yeah, see, Shiren didn't appear yellow there, even though he mercied her. Hey, and Meditan and Shiren and Blook end up all back together. Forming a band, just like they were going to. Apparently with Burger Pants, for some reason. I don't know what he's doing there. Apparently Training Dummy didn't want in on it. That's fine, he's even kind of a jerk anyways. The music here is great too. End credits is pretty solid too. I would hesitate to call it one of my favorite tracks in the game, just because it's a compilation of other songs in the game. It's like saying, like, the end credits music in Sonic 2 is your favorite music in Sonic 2. It's not unique music, it's just a compilation of other tracks in the game. Still really nice though. A really nice way to wrap up the game. We didn't see, like, I don't think we saw a single, or that's right, we saw magic and that was it. We didn't, other than that, I don't think we got in a single encounter in the core. Even the god-awful eldritch monstrosities that are the amalgamates even get their happy endings. So yeah, apparently there's a monster school. I don't know that we saw a single other, like, child monster throughout the entire game. I guess that's fine for Toriel. I guess she can mentor the little monster kid in the end after all. It doesn't have to be us. She can have a little life with Monster Kid, who I guess is also... Oh, and I guess that's the end. Oh! Oh! Oh no. Oh my god, what's happening? Oh, Jesus. Got, like, the creepy flowy theme music as well. What was that? I thought we were friends. Oh. Oh! Oh, you got me. What a kidder. Azrael's a good kid. And yeah, you can dodge the credits if you want. Apparently, you get something for dodging all of the credits here. On your next play, if you dodge all the credits, basically a secret door will be opened if you successfully dodge all of the credits. yeah, it's really freaking difficult. I'm never gonna be able to do it, and I wouldn't even bother. It's just so much shit to, again, so much shit to sit through between attempts as well. Still, it's kind of fun. Like, it's reminiscent of, you know, the shit that they do with the credits in, like, Smash Bros, which I always thought was fun. I'm actually not doing bad here. We, like, hit, what, 2 of them? Oh, this one always fucked me up, though. I just... Okay, oh, got that one. Oh, I think I'm... Thought I was getting the... I was just about to say that I was getting the hang of it, and then... So bad at this. What was that, like 5 or 6 I've hit now? That's a lot of... So yeah, as I understand, these are all Kickstarter backers. Unless I'm mistaken, this game was a Kickstarter project originally, so I believe that this is just, the special thanks for all the Kickstarter backers, which was apparently a lot of people. I don't know why... Again, I don't know why there was so much hype for this game. I had never heard of it before it even came out, and I have never heard of the Kickstarter project, hadn't even heard of the game at all until like a month after it came out. I got wrecked there. Why is this one so much harder than the previous one? I guess they're coming at you more frequently. Anyways. Oh! Oh dear. Oh, I am dead. That's it. We gotta restart. We gotta try this again. No. What did we end up with? Probably like 25 there. Oh, that's not bad. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, it looks like. That's pretty bad. Good night. It's actually the middle of the afternoon here, where I am, but whatever. And that's Undertale. Spectacular ending. Again, if looking at certain pieces of this game, it's like... The highs in this game are so great that I feel it like really outweighs a lot of the drawbacks to the game that I've listed, and the ending is one of those highs that I say. This is probably one of the strongest endings I think I've seen in almost probably gaming history, really. It's a shame that it's like so much of a pain in the ass to get it, having to play through the whole game a second time, but it's worth it, I think. So yeah, that is that's the end of Undertale. I do that shit too often. I'm not even gonna pretend that I don't know what's coming next. So we got to sit here a little bit to, or do we have to sit here a little bit? Oh yeah, we did. We had to see that. We needed to see this. That's right. That's right. I think it's the next time he starts up the game, or the next time you start up the game, actually. So I think. I'm not even going to bother showing it off. This is the way it ends to me. I'm probably never going to play Undertale again. The game does like a lot of... If you go through for like on like the Genocide playthrough and also just other hidden stuff you can unlock on multiple playthroughs, the game goes through great lengths to kind of... The game kind of starts to berate you if you go too far out of your way to see everything. They're just like, why can't you be happy with your fantastic little happy ending you got? Why you gotta go through and... do all this tedious nonsense to try and see everything you can. In fact, the game... I'm not even going to show it to you, because I'm not going to let the game berate me again. But if you exit the game and start it up again, basically Flowey shows up and basically begs you not to restart the game, because everybody's happy now. Everyone's gone off and they're in a happy place, and why would you want to put an end to all that? Please just let them all be happy. And so, yeah, Flowey, if you start the game again, Flowey just straight up begs you. And he says, actually, that if you do end up resetting, he asks you to please erase his memory too. So if you do like a reset after getting the true ending, they call it a true reset. It's like a complete and total wipe, where it's like even the stuff that it memorized, where it's, you know, it sort of did stuff to recognize that you're playing through the game a second time. Even that stuff gets wiped. It's like Toriel recognizing your butterscotch cinnamon decision, Flowey doing all the stuff he recognizes from your previous playthroughs. Everything gets reset. It's as if you were playing the game for the first time. The one exception is that if you get the genocide ending, it fucks with your ability to get the pacifist ending. You basically, instead of this happy little photo here, you get kind of just a disturbing twist on that as a result of your having to sell your soul to replay the game after the genocide ending. And actually, originally I was going to do that. I was going to do a genocide playthrough, and then just as a nasty surprise for my recorded pacifist run for the channel here, it was just going to be, we'd get that last sort of surprise image, and it'd be like, haha, I genocided you motherfuckers, we don't get a happy ending after all, see ya later. But again, as I mentioned, the genocide and path was just so tedious I couldn't go through it. So we get a happy ending after all, and that's where we're going to leave it. That is the Undertale. Why do I keep sticking the there? I don't know why. That is Undertale. Lovely little game. I like it. I like it a fair bit. It's very good, I think. And yeah, and I hope that you enjoyed my series, even a fraction as much as I enjoyed playing the game. But with that, I'm going to call it here as ever. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next game.